Welcome back, Hive Mind. This is Shalazar with Hive Mind Gaming, coming at you with another Raid Shadow Legends Takeover. We're here with Customs, who's my mate Carl from over across the pond. Now, let me ask you guys, is it weird to hear a Yank use the term mate? Because when someone from across the pond says it, it sounds like, man, this is my best bud. But see, when someone from the States says it, to me it sounds like they're in a relationship. I don't know. Am I wrong here? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. But anyway, let's get into it. So Carl would like me to check out his account, re-gear his tunes, and get his guys looking good for all the positions that he wants them in, which is arena, clan boss, and his dungeons. So let's get into it and see what we can do. So what we're going to do is first take a look at his champions here. He's got some really great champs, so we should be able to get in here. I think the only thing that really needs to be looked at is his gear selection for a lot of these champs. So what we're going to do is we're going to get in here, we're going to take a look at all of his gear and see what we can do for some of his gear options. Now, something that you can do when you're looking at what gear you can keep, what gear you should get rid of, if you choose the bottom four and you hit HP, attack, and defense, that's the gear that you really want to get rid of. So all this stuff can be sold. If we hit the equipped, we can see if anyone was equipped. Good, he at least didn't equip it. Oh, I spoke too soon. So you always want to do percentages when it comes to attack, defense, and HP. So as Hell Hades would say, in the bin. But I'm going to sell all this equipment, and then what we'll do is we'll get into regearing and looking at some of his equipment that he's got on his champions currently, and then just regear it all. So I'll be back. The first thing we want to look at when we're looking at gear, like what gear to keep, what gear to sell, we want to look at first the primary stats. So what we're looking for when we're looking to sell or keep, we always want to sell our flat rate gear, because your defense gear, your percent gear, is always going to be better than your flat rate gear. But when you run into a situation where it's a blue item, which I'm not going to have any because I sell them, but if you have a blue item and both pieces are flat rate, you might as well sell it. And the reason is because when you get to level 4 and it levels up one of those two things, it's going to be a flat rate thing. So I would just get rid of it. First, again, guys, this also has to do with where you are in the game. If you get into in-game, you're going to want to min-max your champion's stats. And to do that, you're going to be looking for all percentage-based stats instead of flat stats. Next thing we want to take a look at is accessories. The short answer on what to keep and what to sell is if all three percentages are on one ring, keep it. There's no reason to get rid of it because that's the best it could possibly be. Now, when it comes to selling or looking for what to sell and what to keep on the amulet's pretty straightforward. There's only one thing that I definitely sell if I see it, and that's going to be an attack amulet. And the reason why I would just straight up sell an attack amulet, because there's literally no reason to have it. Because if it's an attack based champion, hopefully your crit rate is at 100%, therefore your crit damage wants to be as high as it could possibly be. You're going to get way more out of crit damage than you are your attack stat. So you will never choose attack over crit damage. The only time that you wouldn't choose crit damage over attack is if you just don't have any crit damage amulets. So you might want to keep all of your amulets. And that's going to be a decision you're going to have to make, because where you're at on your spider team makes the difference on what you're going to get rid of and why. These attack amulets just need to go away. So when deciding to go through your banners and get rid of the ones that you don't need, again, it boils down to where you're at on your spider. When you're late game, you're gonna want your resistance banner, especially for arena, because once you get into arena, gold 4 and platinum, you need resistance. And then you've got your accuracy banner, which if you're doing anything that manipulates the other team, you need accuracy. So there's lots of reasons to keep all your banners, just depends on what you need them for. Alright, so if you're farming Ice Golem P, so the first 5 are going to be keepers. Retaliation, niche, probably not going to use it a lot, but keep your best stuff because you may want to put it on at least one person. When you start getting into close to 700 pieces of gear in your inventory, you have to make those hard decisions on what do I keep and what do I get rid of. That's what I would do with retaliation. Reflex, get rid of it. Cursed, get rid of it. Taunting, just like retaliation, it's niche. You want to make sure that you're putting it on the right champ, so only keep your best pieces. Alright, moving on to the Dragon's Lair. So your first 3 you're definitely keeping, right? Your speed is probably the most wanted out of this dungeon. You got accuracy, which is a really good set. Lifesteal, really good for your clan boss and dungeons. Destroy, get rid of it. Useless. Frost, another niche set, just like retaliation and taunting. Day set, get rid of it. It's not the greatest of the CCs. Avenging, get rid of it. Stalwart, it's kind of niche. Then you got the toxic set, get rid of it. It's useless. Alright, moving on to Fire Knight's Castle. So Fury set, in the bin. The crit damage is a good set, so keep that around. You can get pieces out of that. Frenzy set, get rid of it. Shield, great set. Regeneration, very niche. Not really a huge call for it, so just keep your best pieces. Stun set, fantastic. I will say it one more time. Fantastic CC. Savage gear. All your nukers are going to be in Savage gear. Immunity gear is going to be great for you once you get into gold 4 and platinum. Curing, useless, in the bin with curing. You've got the Swift Parry set, which is a fantastic set. Deflection, really good. And then you've got the Relentless set, which is a great 2-piece set. And then Perception is fantastic. So the last thing I want to go over when it comes to decking out your champions, it's very important to pay attention to the damage type of your champion. For instance, Sir Nick here, Mr. Santa Claus himself, is an HP champ up here in the corner. And then not only that, his damage is based on HP. So that means this stat right here does nothing for him. So when you're decking out your champs, make sure when you're putting a chest piece, gloves, or boots on him, make sure that it's HP percent, not attack percent, because the attack does nothing for him. And if you can find gear that doesn't have attack on them, even better. And make sure to check out my former video that I just posted a few days ago about selling and saving artifacts and accessories. It will give you a full breakdown of which artifacts to keep, which artifacts to sell, which sets to keep, and which sets to sell. And that way it'll give you a better understanding of how all this works. Alright, so the first one we want to look at is Arena. Now, for the Arena team, we're going to take a look at probably Arbiter, Tormund, Foley, and Madame Cerise for his Arena team. Now, for Arbiter, we're going to take a look at her. Oh no, attack boots. Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Alright, so our Arbiter needs to be the fastest on the team. What we'll do is I'm going to go through here and I'm going to try to equip her with the fastest gear he's got on his account, and then we'll come back. And we're back to see the gear that we got on all these guys. So basically, we're restricted on the gear we could possibly use. I would love to get a lot of these guys in Savage gear, but we just don't have it. The account looks really good. He's got some really great champs. We just need to grind out some more gear to get them right where they want to be, right where we want them to be. But we still did a lot of work. So first off, we've got Tormund. We worked on his kit. We got him in some accuracy gear with some crit rate gloves, some defense chest piece, and some speed boots. So one of the main things that I did with the account is I went through and I got mostly everybody in crit rate gloves, mainly because we don't have a lot of gear that has crit rate in the actual substats. So we had to put most people in crit rate gloves. A lot of his champs had crit damage, so we took that off and added the crit rate gloves. And the reason is, even though he had much higher crit damage, he didn't crit a lot, because when your crit rate is so low, like in the 20s, you're only critting like 20% of the time. Where now his crit rate is 98%, so he's critting 98% of the time, which is almost always. And even though he's doing less damage per crit, he's still critting more often, so his overall damage output is going to be higher. So keep that in mind when you're trying to decide whether or not you want higher crit or higher crit rate. Crit rate is more important because that means you're going to over time do more damage. For his ring, we've got defense, we got crit damage, which is another thing that we changed on a lot of the champs. Is we had basic flat stat amulets. We changed a lot of his damage dealers to crit damage to boost up their crit damage. All right, and then last but not least, we have an accuracy banner. All right, and then we've got Arbiter decked out as well. So we got her in all speed gear. We took her speed up to 301. It was the best speed gear on his account. We also got Foley decked out. We got his attack up, his defense up. We've got his speed at 184. We did get over crit rate. We can bring that down a little, but really don't want to mess with his gear much. With the 237 crit damage. And we didn't put a lot of accuracy in him because he's not there to lay down the defense down. So we don't really care about that as much. His resistance, since he is going to be used in the arena, his resistance could use to be a little bit higher. But again, we're running on the assumption that we don't have the gear to actually do that right this moment. So once these guys get their gear leveled some more, they'll be even doing more damage. Last but not least, for our primary team, our 4-man offense team, we went with Madame Cerise. So we've got her in a 4-piece accuracy set and then a speed set. We got her speed up to 222 because we want her to go faster than our Foley and our Tormund. We got a pretty good HP, an okay defense. It really needs to be higher. Her resist really needs to be higher. And then we've got a 337 accuracy because we want her to be able to rip those buffs off and place those defense downs. So yeah, so she's looking pretty good with the gear that he actually has. She's looking real good. So let's get into it. So let's see. Which the champs he had in there aren't horrible, and he can still use them. That's not an issue at all. So let's see. That and Madame Cerie. All right, let's see how we do. So we definitely have them beat on speed, as you can see. This will indicate how bad you beat them on speed. So it looks like all of our guys are going to go before them. So what, especially now, because what we're going to do is we're going to use her to increase turn meter. We're going to use her to apply that, and then try to kill her. So we didn't get to kill anybody, but we at least got the taunt off of the Duchess. All right. Try to rip off. Yep, there we go. Got those. Let's go ahead and finish those two off. And we win this. We win this fight. Have a seat. All right. So let's go into this one. So she's a little bit faster. Looks like only she's going to go before them. So that's why we want to use the increased turn meter. Now all of our guys should go before them. Now, just like the Duchess, we take the risk here if we put the decreased defense. If he's not hitting this hard, if he's not hitting hard enough, he's not going to take anyone down, and he's going to be able to put up his unkillable, which is going to keep people from dying. So we want to be careful how we do this. So for the first turn, we may just want to do that. And see if we can knock some of those things out. Oh yeah, okay. So we've got the taunt off. So we knocked down his turn meter there. So let's go ahead and try that now that they've taken some damage. So now that should wipe out their team. There you go. So, as you can see, I mean, pretty good. He's a glass cannon. If they ever if they ever attack him, he's gonna die. But that's why you have Arbiter here. Arbiter will definitely do some work to bring them back up. That is for sure. All right, we don't want you to go, so let's yeah. We were just looking at taking out your turn meter, but taking you out is just as good, I guess. Apply the weekend. Oh, yeah, that's game. All right. Have a seat. All right, so we're not going to win them all, but I mean, still, I think it's a good good chance to get into push you into gold 4. That is for sure. Yeah, he's not hitting hard enough. I'd say once you actually level up his gear and get him fully ascended, he's going to be wrecking stuff, man. Absolutely wrecking house. I mean, he is solid. I mean, you have Ray, so Ray's not a slouch either. She can do some work for you. So either one of those can do a good amount of work for you. So we got some freezes off. That's why we want Tormund to have such a high accuracy, because that's going to help freeze people. And who don't we like? We don't like anyone really. So he's probably going to die. She's probably going to die. Depends on how tanky these two are. Now, she's frozen, so she's going to take less damage. So let's just try to kill her. Oh, well, looks like we killed the two that we figured we wouldn't kill. But that's alright. So she can finish him off. And there we go. And here we are in Gold 3. So he has been killing it with this team. So absolutely loving the new team. A couple of the other things we did for the account to get him situated for Arena is we went ahead and got Abyss worked out as well. So we got her crit rate up, crit damage, and a lot of her stats reworked so that she's more viable in Arena, because she hits like a Mack truck in Arena nowadays with her upgrade that she just got, her buff she just got. We also regeared this young lady. She's really good for Arena. We regeared Baron. We regeared a lot of these guys to where they actually will be more viable. We just need to level the gear. A lot of it has to do with silver. I mean, I burned through a ton of silver re-gearing his champions out to make them to give them an actual viable set of gear instead of the flat stat gear and the crit damage gloves, where we wanted to move into the more crit rate gloves to give them better crit rate, so that they can land those crits way more often. So we re-geared a lot of these champs to make them viable. Now let's get into his clan boss setup. All right, for his clan boss setup, we've got Skull Crusher that we re-geared out. We've got Miscreated Monster, Tyrell, Occult Brawler, and lastly, Steel Skull. So basically what we did is we pretty much did the exact same thing. The concept is still the same. We went in, we got everybody in lifesteal gear so that they can have sustainability in the clan boss, as well as the heals from Steel Skull. We got everybody's crit rate up so that they're doing consistent damage on the clan boss, as well as being able to sustain with the lifesteal gear. So we also, as an alternate when it comes to affinities, we also have Razin re-geared and ready to go, and he can at any point take the place of Tyrell, things like that. So we've got he's got a good solid clan boss team. He was currently doing about 12 million on Nightmare Clan Boss, and now he's doing a little over 15 mil with this setup. So I'm not going to do a run because it's not quite there yet. As soon as we get his account fully operational, what we're going to do is we're going to come back and revisit his account, and we're actually going to speed tune his champs, his clan boss champs, and try to get us into Ultra Nightmare. because he's got a good setup. We just need the gear to actually back us. His dungeon teams are such a wide variety, obviously, because it's the four dungeons, four major dungeons. But we're looking at a lot of different champions for the revamping of their gear. One is Zargala. She's going to definitely help with waves. Ray is a good one to help with waves. Then there's Miscreated Monster, who is an absolute beast when it comes to spiders, and he's also helpful in the other dungeons as well. Then we of course have Tayrell to defense down on a lot of situations, and then he's got two Cold Hearts. So we went ahead and regeared both Cold Hearts. Neither one of them had anywhere close to 100% crit rate, so now we've got their crit rates up, so that they're now going to be critting pretty much 100% of the time, and we've got their accuracy up. Now this one's accuracy is not as good as I would like. Actually, neither one of them is as good as I like. But again, we're working with what we can when it comes to the gear. And then we're the last but not least, we're working on Queen Eva, and what we're going to work on with her is we're going to try to get her geared out so that we can get her as the account farmer. Now, she is probably the best account farmer in the game. But an argument could be made for Ray. Currently, he's using Ray, and Ray works just fine. Ray is perfectly viable as your account farmer, but literally, this one has no other reason to exist other than to be an account farmer. Yes, I know she can nuke, but I mean she is the epitome of glass cannon. So harsh language will kill her in arena. I mean, all you got to do is scream at your screen and call her dirty, dirty names, and she will just fall over dead in arena. So, yeah. So her best place is as the account farmer. So he's got a lot of potential in this account. I mean, we've got some really great champs. So he's got a lot of work to do for this account as well, though. So one, we want to get one of the Sile of Drakes up so that she can help in all the dungeons, because she's a beast no matter where you put her. She's probably the best free champ that you get in all of this game, in this whole game. She is just a fantastic champ all around, but she will do some work for you in all the dungeons, which is where this account needs her, because he's got better gear or better champs for clan boss and better champs for arena. So where she's going to shine is going to be in the dungeons. Ghostbourne is another champ that is absolutely phenomenal and would do some work for him. Of course, Molly, we just need to get her ascended. Manea's pretty good. Robard's pretty good. And then, of course, he's got a second Ray, which is going to help him in 3v3. And then, of course, he's got Jack, which, some people like him, some people don't. I love Jack. I don't have him on my primary account. I wish I did. He would just be fun in arena. He would just be an absolute blast in arena. He is a arena beast if built correctly. And then, of course, you've got Mortu, which is a pretty good champ. I mean, he's good, but there's a lot of RNG when it comes to him, because his best ability is a secret ability that only procs when he's attacked. There's a chance that it will proc when he's attacked. So, I mean, lots of good champs here. And then he looks like he's got a Frozen Banshee that looks like he's working on to level up to get into arena. I don't think he needs a Frozen Banshee, but that's an option. So lots of good champs here for him to grind through and see what he can do with this account. It's an absolutely fantastic account. It needs a ton of work, but I mean, it just sets goals for him to work on stuff to get it going. And I think, he can definitely be in-game viable in no time. There's a lot of the champs that need to finish their masteries. The way it looks is that he probably has, a bunch of guys in there that are grinding out their masteries together. I don't think I would do that. I think what I would do is like Miscreated Monster. He's being used in his arena and his dungeons. He needs to be fully masteried out. He just needs to. He should be your primary champ to focus on to get masteries. And my suggestion on masteries is there's 5 spots to put champions. 4 of your champions that are helping you get through the Minotaur 20 need to all have full masteries. Whether you buy them or whether you've already grinded out the scrolls, all 4 of them need to be fully mastered. And then put the guy in there, the champion there, that you're wanting to get masteries on. So in this case, it would be Miscreated Monster. That way, every time you run it, he's the only one getting the scrolls. And then once he gets finished, then you're going to choose someone else that needs masteries, and you're going to finish them off. Each one of these guys, especially the ones in your clan boss team, they're going to only get better as you finish your masteries. So that's pretty much it, guys. His account is pretty outstanding. He's got a lot of work to do, but it gives him something to do and something to work for. He's got some really outstanding champs. What we're going to do is a part of this account takeover. I'm going to discuss with him what his next steps are to when it comes to leveling, when it comes to grinding out masteries, and when it comes to gearing. And then we'll revisit his account at a later date once he has some better gear and we can retune his clan boss team and see if we can't get them into Ultra Nightmare. Other than that, if you like what you've seen and you want to see more, hit the like button and subscribe. Every one of them are appreciated and help tremendously. And that is all for today. We'll see you in a video soon. Have a good night. Bye.